Well, hello everybody. It is Tuesday. It's the 17th of February 2026, and I am excited to bring you, after a long hiatus, the second international Lay's review. Lay's chip review, I should say, in just a week. So a few days ago, I reviewed the smoke-flavored international Lay's. Those were from China. I wasn't really sure what they were getting at when I tried them because it wasn't supposed to be tied into any kind of meat flavor or anything like that. It was just smoke flavor. Um, and I gave them an average review. You know, they were okay. But then after I ended the recording, those chips started to grow on me. I finished the entire bag that night. And I did kind of see a purpose um, after thinking about it for a little bit. And so another Chinese smoke flavored product is a tea. It's called Lapsang Souchong tea. It literally tastes like a campfire. And it has this almost indescribably warming, calming, soothing effect. And maybe that's what they were going for in those chips. I'm not absolutely sure. Now, it did seem like the smoke flavoring was kind of artificial tasting. So that kind of set off the intended effect. But anyways, they were interesting chips. I would actually, I don't know if anybody saw that review who's watching this, but I don't know. I sort of like tacitly, or is that the right word? Tacitly recommended them. I strongly recommend them now. Pick them up if you can. But anyways, that was the subject of the last International Lay's review. Let's talk about these. These are numb and spicy Hotpot flavored, also Chinese Lay's. And they have less than 50% of something because I'm not able to read that language. Let me pause for a minute. Sorry about that. I had a little bout of acid reflux and I didn't want unpalatable things happening in front of the camera. Or unappetizing things. Unpalatable refers to flavor. I think unappetizing more refers to visuals. Anyways, so the ideal context in which to review these would be to have a circle of people with a table in the middle and then this big bowl of these chips. Because the traditional way of preparing and serving and eating a Chinese hot pot is that you have a giant portable stove in the middle of the table, and people sit around it and you sort of communally cook and then eat what's in the hot pot. Okay? So, yeah, but, I just moved to this town. I'm living in Mount Vernon, Washington. I don't know anybody, so I have nobody to come and sit communally around a table and eat from a chip bowl with. So, next best thing to do is to just analyze the flavor of these chips and see if the essential elements of a spicy and savory hot pot, Chinese hot pot, are in this. So, one of the signature things, and it's pictured here, in any Chinese hot pot is going to be anise seed, or I'm sorry, star anise, also known as anise seed. It kind of tastes like licorice. I do not like black licorice, but in the context of being added to like a savory Chinese stew, it works really, really nicely. So I'm going to be looking for the flavor of star anise. I'm also going to be looking for the flavor of fermented chili paste. Now, the fermented Chinese chili paste is called like doubinjiang or something like that. Doubinjiang, I think, something like that. It's not gochujang. Obviously, that's the Korean one. So I'm also looking for that. And I'm looking for the sort of numbing, tingly, sharp flavor of Sichuan peppercorns, which is another essential element of Chinese hot pots. So let's. I'm going to analyze these based on the degree and balance of fermented chili paste, star anise, and Sichuan peppercorn flavorings in it. All right, I've talked for 4 minutes. We better open these up. This is going to be in like an epically lengthy review. This is not a Bellatar film. This is an international Lay's flavored review. I was gonna, I was gonna do a short, but I was like, no. I have too much to say about Chinese hot pots, and I want to talk about the previous international Lay's review. not making this a short. There's no way that I can fit everything I have to say about this into 3 minutes. But that's no excuse to go on over 10 minutes. So let's go ahead and try this. Oh, and another thing. It didn't specify what type of meat, and there's no meat pictured in the picture here. So it did not specify what type of meat this is supposed to taste like, but there are all many different types of Chinese hot pot, and they range from mild to spicy, and you can put all kinds of different vegetables and eggs and other stuff in there, and and any meat that you like. So duck, chicken, pork, beef, all different kinds of seafood. There are shrimp hot pots, there are scallop hot pots, all different kinds of all manner of meat is included in the spectrum of Chinese hot pot styles. But this doesn't specify one, so I'm not looking for any particular meat flavor. Just the 3 things that I already listed. Right. I need to eat now. That's really cool. The first sensation that I got before I tasted anything, I got that Sichuan peppercorn tingle. And the cool thing about it, though, is it didn't hit me in the face. It wasn't like a crazy tingle that made me want to have the shakes or whatever. It was a subtle tingle. Because if you know anything about Sichuan peppercorns, if you've ever cooked with them, it is really easy to completely destroy a dish that you're preparing if you put too much Sichuan peppercorn in there. Use it sparingly if you ever use it. But if you use just the right amount, it can result in something magical, something beautiful, something delicious. So they got the Sichuan peppercorn right. Let's have another chip. Let's look for the anise seed. Or star anise, sorry. Because they don't put anise seed in Chinese crock pots or hot pots. They put the whole star anise. And it's called that because it's shaped like a star. Which this picture doesn't really depict that well. But, oh, there's a star in the middle there, but that's not the actual clove of star anise is shaped like a star. I don't know why they wouldn't picture that. Oh, another thing that was weird to me about this photo is so there seems to be a divide here. And then this in the middle I think is supposed to be like the dipping sauce. But they just put the same thing in all 3 because my understanding of the divide on the Chinese hot pot is that there's supposed to be a mild side and a spicy side. So if you have people who are not very tolerant to spicy, they can go for the mild side. And if there are people who aren't very tolerant or who want their stuff spicier, they can go for the hot side. That's not happening here. It's just all the same stuff. I don't know. I guess Lay's gets a little bit lazy in their advertising sometimes. I mean, honestly, I'm not crazy about the uniformity of this. I think it would be, my eyes would have been drawn even more quickly than they already were to this if there had been a dip here and then something that was obviously mild and obviously spicy on different sides of the divide. Can't have everything you want. Okay, flavor analysis. These are disappointing. By the way, this is not the first Chinese hot pot flavored chip that I've tried. I can't remember the name of the brand, but there was another one that I tried several months ago. It was far more authentically flavored like a Chinese hot pot than this. I'm just tasting salt, maybe just a hint of that star anise that I was looking for, and some tingliness of the Sichuan peppercorn, but this is kind of weak sauce. I mean, that's why I'm just like keep going off on tangents and talking about other things, because I don't have a whole lot to say about these chips. Don't like them very much. They're not spicy. They're not savory. They don't have, I mean, it's like, there are a lot of things, you know, a Chinese hot pot is a complex thing. It has a lot of ingredients that go into it, and it sits and simmers for a long time. This is just, it's salt with a little, salt with a little tingle of Sichuan peppercorn and maybe some fake soy flavor or something like that. I don't even really taste pepper in there. Not even like a basic sriracha flavor. I just... So I think there are two things that are working against this chip. Number one, I think the seasoning blend that they dusted the chips with was weak. Like, just weak and bland. And the chips are under-seasoned. They do not have enough of that seasoning on them. You take a weak, bland seasoning that almost completely fails to capture the complexity and depth and savoriness of a Chinese hot pot, and then you don't put enough of the seasoning on the chips, you're left with a weak-ass, lame chip. And that is what this is. I am hugely disappointed. Hugely disappointed. I think this is going to get the worst rating of any international lei that I have ever tried, and I've tried a lot. This is going to get a 4. Like I said, it's not bad, it's not terrible, it's not like I can't sit here and snack on these, but I don't want to. I'm taking in unnecessary calories, and it's really not that, it's not a pleasurable enough experience to warrant me sitting here and eating the whole bag. I'm not going to. That was a disappointment, but I had to know, right? Sometimes you just gotta know.